everyone.
You are now watching IN, the International News.
Today, we will give you knowledge about the Philippine relation with the countries in North America.
Chosen 3 countries under the North America, which are the Mexico, Cuba, and Canada. Let us now discuss about the Philippine and Mexico relations. The long shared history of the Philippines and Mexico finds its roots in the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade in 1565. This trade paved the way not only for the exchange of goods between the two countries, but also for the exchange of people, culture, and literature. Our friend Dr. Ricardo Soler sent us the manuscript of his new book and is also here to talk with us about his book, which is entitled Mexico and the Philippines, an Unwritten Story. Can you tell us something about the book?
Sure. This book is revealing the story of our period of colonization, during which the Spain turned over authority over the Philippines to Mexico. You know, Ali, unfortunately, that the history of the said period had never been taught to Filipinos, so that to this day, people don't even know that may Tagalog words like nanay, tatay, palengke, and tiangge are really Mexican Indian words. Even some songs written in Spanish like Besame Mucho, Granada, and many others are not really Spanish because they were composed and written by Mexicans and popularized in Mexico, from where they made their way to the shores of the Philippines after the Vice-Regal era, where a chapter in the my book discloses.
Okay, so do you really think that Mexico really influenced our country?
Yes, Mexico influences us so much.
Okay, so would you like to say something to our viewers about your book?
Please buy my book. Thank you and
So, okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ricardo Soler.
thank you.
I'm now here to give you the other agreements that was shared by the two countries, Mexico and Philippines. 2012, Philippine Foreign Secretary Albert Del Rosario signed a 2 bilateral agreements with Mexican Foreign Minister Patricia Espinosa in Mexico. These agreements include establishing a joint bilateral consultation meeting and providing for the exchange of information, training modules, and scholars for diplomatic training. The friendship of the two countries was reinforced on November 17, 2015, when Philippine President Benigno Aquino III and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto signed the RP Mexico Tax Treaty, or specifically the agreement between the government of each country for the avoidance of double taxation with respect to taxes on income and the prevention of fiscal evasion. The treaty aims to further develop the economic relationship and enhance the cooperation in tax matters of the two countries. This state visit also includes bilateral agreements on tourism cooperation and combating illegal drug trade. And lastly, during the presidency of Diosdado Macapagal, the President of Mexico, Adolfo Lopez Mateos, paid a visit to the Philippines from October 20 to 23, 1962 to respond to the trip to Mexico in 1960. By then, Vice President Macapagal, 1964 was designated the Year of the Mexican-Filipino Friendship to celebrate the 4th centenary of the expedition of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. So those are some of the important things that happen between the relationship of Mexico and the Philippines.
And now, let's talk about the relationship of Cuba and Philippines. Philippines were both former Spanish colonies. Spanish rule both countries was ended by the victory of the United States in the Spanish-American Wars, provision of the Treaty of Paris giving Cuba independence, and the Philippines becoming a new possession of the United States.
The Philippines, despite being a long time of ally of the which has currently unfavorable relations with Cuba, has voted against subsequent UN General Assembly resolution against the United States embargo against Cuba. Cuba and the Philippines enjoy historical and traditional bonds built on the political will of both governments, communalities in vision and culture, and shared Spanish influence. Ambassador Hernandez said in her opening remarks. She also pointed to the parallel in national heroes of both countries, of Cuba and as a result of the Philippines, who were both writers and poets and martyred in their respective fight for independence. So she conveyed her government's recognition of the Philippines' unwavering support for Cuba in their struggle and end of blockade and acknowledged the role of the Philippines-Cuba friendship solidarity groups in actively promoting friendship towards Cuba.
What are some of the important things that happen between the relationship of Mexico and the Philippines?
Both agreed that the bilateral cooperation could be further strengthened in the field of culture, sport, agriculture, health, and biotechnology, where the Philippines and Cuba already engage in mutual beneficiary projects. Cuban boxing trainers were hired for the Philippines national boxing team in early 2000 and 6 Filipino scholars are presently completing their studies in Cuba. Agreements are likewise being penned between Cuba Biotechnology and pharmaceutical companies and the Philippine companies to market affordable Cuban medicine to the Philippines. Health Secretary Pauline Jean Rosel Ubial recently led a delegation of Philippine health officials to Cuba to study its progressive healthcare system, and a follow-up visit will be conducted in the upcoming week to look into Cuba's development and production of pharmaceutical products. And now let's talk about the relationship of Cuba and Philippines.
13, former Cuban ambassador to the Philippines, George Ray Jimenez, announced that they will close their embassy in Makati, citing financial difficulties brought by the global economic crisis. And the United States embargo all consular and diplomatic relations with the Philippines were then assumed by the Cuban embassy in Kuala Lumpur.
November 9, 2016, 70 years of Philippine-Cuba relations are commemorated at the intimate cocktail reception hosted by the Cuban non-resident ambassador to the Philippines, H.E. Yvette Hernandez at the Manila Polo Club on November 3. And also, those are some information about Cuba and Philippine relations.
2, 3.
And for the last part of our reporting today is
About the relation of Canada and Philippines.
In the Philippines, Canada is represented by the Embassy of Canada in Manila. Canada is also consulate in Cebu. The Philippines is represented in Canada by an embassy in Ottawa. The Philippines also has the 3 consulate general in Calgary, Toronto, and Vancouver, and honorary consular offices in Edmonton, Winnipeg, St. John's, Halifax, and Charlottetown.
Bilateral relations with the Philippines are strong and friendly, and marked by close cooperation in a variety of areas. Canada and the Philippines are partners on the international stage, working together to find solutions to global issues. Canada cooperates with the Philippines as an association of Southeast Asian nations, or ASEAN, dialogue partner, and within the ASEAN Regional Forum, or ARF. The Philippines currently serves as Canada's Asian Coordinating Country, 2015 to 2018. Both countries are active participants in the Asia-Pacific Economic Conference, or APEC, Forum and World Trade Organization, or WTO.
There are ever-increasing people-to-people links between Canada and the Philippines. According to the 2011 census, 662,000 people of Philippines origin are now residing in Canada. A growing number of Filipino citizens visit family and friends in Canada. Study of Canadian colleges and universities of immigrate to Canada. In 2015, Canada welcomed more than 50,000 permanent residents from the Philippines, making Canada top source country for permanent residents that year. In 2016, Canada issues nearly 35,000 visas to Filipinos for tourism. There are approximately 15,000 Canadians residing in the Philippines.
International assistance. Canada's Feminist International Assistance Policy guides our assistance programming in the Philippines. Its ultimate objective is to help the poorest and the most vulnerable to enjoy peace and prosperity. Canada recognizes that supporting gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls is the most effective way to achieve this objective. Priority themes in the Philippines include gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls, human dignity, healthcare, nutrition, education, and humanitarian assistance, economic growth that works for everyone, environment and climate action, and peace and security. End of the report regarding Canada and Philippine relations.
That's all for today's news. Again, we are the IN,
The International Youth.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.